Hi, it's Jenna here from Heal Your Own Sleep, and today I want to talk about 10 ways that you can heal your own sleep with diet. And before I get started, I just want to make it clear I know some of the things I'm going to suggest in this video may not win me any popularity contests, but they are based on my own experience of research as well as things I've tried, having struggled with really chronic insomnia for 5 years. I call myself a recovering insomniac, and a lot of it is based on eating different foods and doing things differently with my diet, and so I just wanted to share some of those in this video with you. Okay, so the first one is to regulate your caffeine intake, which obviously, whether you have insomnia or not, they always say don't drink caffeine too late in the day. And it's true. I will say that I have not cut out caffeine. I tried it before and I was absolutely miserable, and so I'm not advocating a drastic change like just cutting out all caffeine. I couldn't live without my coffee. But what works for me, and you have to do what works for you, but what works for me is to drink it earlier in the day. So I still drink a lot of coffee, but it tends to be before noon. And then I just try to taper myself off and don't drink too much after noon or 1 o'clock rolls around. Certainly don't want to drink it before bedtime. That is a mistake. Okay, so number 2 is to drink fresh, real water. And this may seem a little contradictory to what you've heard, but I actually find that drinking a glass of water before bedtime helps me sleep better. Obviously, you don't want to drink too much or you're going to be up going to the bathroom, but drinking real water, whether it's bottled or like even distilled water or something like that from a jug, is better than tap water if you can. And replacing other drinks like soft drinks and even fruit drinks with water whenever possible is also a good way to increase your chances of sleeping well. Cutting out sugar. That is a difficult one for many people, and it's been difficult for me as well. Again, I'm not totally sugar-free with my diet by any means. I still consume a lot of sugar. But I noticed that especially eating it late at night is going to keep me up, the old sugar high, sugar rush feeling. There's some reality to that. So you really don't want to, if you're going to consume it, don't do it right before bedtime. So you may say, well, I'll just turn to the artificial sweeteners. But this is actually one of my biggest tips of, pieces of advice that I give people, is to cut out artificial sweeteners if you want to sleep better at night. It's been a real eye-opener to me when I stopped using, I was using Splenda for a while, and I used that after using aspartame, the Equal or whatever it's called. I used those for years, and I finally cut those out of my diet. And I find that it really helps me sleep better. The times that I've had to go back to using Splenda, I find that I do not sleep as well at night. It'll trigger my insomnia. And so you might be asking, well, if I can't use sugar, I can't use artificial sweetener, what do I use? Well, I tend to use stevia. Like I said, I drink a lot of coffee, so I'll put stevia in the coffee. Recently, I did hear that Truvia, the brand Truvia, is actually, can be used as a pesticide. So I'm not really sure I want to use that brand. But I'll use, kind of another brand of stevia. I like this kind of the store brand that I get. I guess it's particular to the Truvia that it has that pesticide effect. So I probably wouldn't use that either. And truth be told, it's probably best if you can go without anything, but if you've got a sweet tooth like I do, I still think stevia is probably the best bet. You might want to try some honey, or something like that as well. Try to get organic if you can. Okay, so number 5, cut out processed food. This is, like I said, I may be losing some viewers the more I talk, but processed foods are kind of big on the list as well. The closer you can get to eating natural, the better. So that means cutting out the snack foods, and a lot of it is, you know, the sugar intake that are in these types of food, but also just, you know, the other artificial ingredients that go into them don't need to be going into your body if you're trying to sleep better at night. Cutting out the refined carbohydrates. Again, it's kind of like the last one, but a lot of people think they're eating healthier because they're eating like wheat bread, for example. Even things like this hamburger bun in this picture can offend, I guess. Can disrupt, you know, the what's the word I'm looking for? You know, your system. So it's best if you can just cut out refined carbohydrates as often as possible. With that said, let me just say that the Atkins diet is kind of the opposite of that, where they say don't have any carbs at all, and I think that also, this is just my personal experience, personal opinion, I think that also throws the body out of whack, and that can also cause insomnia or trigger it. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend going totally carb-free either. There's carbs in fruits and vegetables and a lot of things that you eat, so just do it in moderation. And it's like the old, you know, wisdom goes that you can have the same amount of calories, 2 different meals, but, you know, if one is home cooked with fruits and vegetables in it, it's going to be a healthier choice than, you know, the meal with processed food that has the same amount of calories. So with that said, obviously eat more fruits and veggies. And, you know, yeah, it takes more time. You have to cook it. You have to plan out your meals, but it's worth it in the long run. Number 8, cut out soda. I have been on this journey to give up Coke Zero. It's probably, I wish I'd kept count of when I started it. It was probably 1.5 years, 2 years ago. And I haven't had one since. And it's been very, very difficult for me. I don't know whether it's the artificial sweetener that I was addicted to, which is probably the case, or if there's something else in there that's really made it difficult for me. But I've finally managed to cut it out of my diet, I'm proud to say. And when I do feel that urge to have carbonated soda, I will have an occasional Sprite. I think that's a little bit better. Even if you're going to have a soda that's got sugar in it, that's going to be a better choice than like the Coke Zero or the ones that have the artificial sweetener in them. But if you can, cutting it out altogether is the best choice. Number 9, cut down on alcohol. A lot of people think that, especially at night, because a lot of people think that alcohol will help you sleep better, but in truth, it's actually going to keep you awake at night longer. So I would recommend that you cut down on it if you drink, and if you are going to drink it, don't drink it later in the evening, you know. Kind of make it like coffee, drink it, I'm not saying start drinking in the morning, but if you're going to drink, drink earlier in the day and not so much late at night, so it has time to get out of your system, because it will eventually start keeping you awake. Number 10 is don't go to bed full. That is one thing that I've found really will hinder good sleep for me, is when I go to bed full. And as I'll talk about in another video, even though I am sleeping better than I've slept in a long, long time, there are nights where I still am awake, but I can usually trace them back to some cause. And all of the offenders are in this video, and one of them is going to bed full. So if I'm, you know, just getting back from an all-you-can-eat buffet and then I try to go to bed an hour later, it's usually going to keep me awake at night. It's better to give yourself time to digest if you're going to be eating a lot. Instead, if you want like a snack before bedtime, stay tuned for a future video. I'll talk about healthy snacks that will actually help you sleep better, so you can have a little bit of food on your stomach and also be eating something that's going to help enhance your sleep. But going to bed just totally full is not going to help. That's going to make things worse. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll subscribe to the channel and give me your feedback on what you'd like to see in future videos. And in the meantime, make the right choices. Maybe comment below about your lifestyle. Is it going to be hard to put these choices in place? Like I said, I still struggle with a lot of them. They're just kind of a framework I keep in mind and try to aim for as often as possible. And so hopefully you'll do the same. Okay, thanks. See you in the next video.